All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Open Mainframe Project Student User Group. I'm Devonte Hawkins, and I'm joined by my co-host, Taylor Herpick. And today is going to be a little bit different. We are going to talk about all the different open learning mainframe resources that you can use through the Open Mainframe project. So, just a little bit of background. I presented at the Share Cleveland conference about a week ago, and I had a panel of different experts and technical professionals across the Open Mainframe project, and with this session, we really wanted to talk about open source mainframe learning, right? Mainframe learning and mainframe skills is something that's important to every mainframer, and we want to make sure that we are doing our part to help train the next generation of mainframers through open source free learning tools. And then also have people that's been in the community for years contribute to that effort. And today I just want to share a little bit of that presentation and how you can get involved with these projects. So before I get started, Taylor, did you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Uh, yeah, I mean, honestly, this is a great topic and great timing coming from Share. If anybody has any questions, this is, an open session. Please feel free to ask. We're always looking for questions that we can help kind of guide or just general answers on questions that we can provide for anything related to education. As you go through this, if you think of anything that you're like, hey, I don't know about this, I'd like to learn more, just let us know. Because chances are there's either resources out there or we can kind of look into doing future sessions around them if it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we definitely want this to be a dialogue conversation. And then also, if you want to help contribute to any of these, just, let us know and we'll be glad to help you get started. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So, uh, all right, everyone should be able to see this, but the title of my session at Share was called Scale Up Mainframe Learning for All. And on the panel I had myself. For those of you who may not know me, again, I'm Devonte Hawkins. I'm an IBM Z Data and AI technical specialist. I also had Joe Winchester. He's a senior technical staff member at IBM. He's also a Open Mainframe Project ambassador, doing a lot of stuff with Zoe, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later on. We also had Hunter Johnson, who's a product marketing engineer at Broadcom. Michael Burr, who's an OMP ambassador and IBM champion, who's an engineering manager at Broadcom, and then Donna Hootie, who's the chief marketing officer and head of business development at Phoenix Software. So please feel free to connect with any of these people that you see on the screen on LinkedIn, and just reach out asking if you want to learn more about Open Mainframe Project. They would be glad to help you and get you started and point you in the right direction. But um, so as the mainframe industry continues to evolve, there's a demand for learning that is both accessible and engaging. And the point of this session was to bring together leaders from across the entire Open Mainframe project, from the education initiative to the COBOL programming course and Zoe, to explore the future of mainframe education, right? And the discussion showcased key resources, including the OMP education Gitbook, the COBOL programming with VS Code course, and the fundamentals for Zoe course. And these projects are helping professionals at every stage of their journey, whether you're new to mainframes, whether you're in the middle part of your career, or whether you're a seasoned veteran in this space, right? There's something that it can offer for everyone, regardless of your age or your experience. And this led to an inspired conversation on how these tools are shaping the next generation of mainframe talent. And for those of you that may not know what the Open Mainframe Project is, it's a collaborative initiative hosted by the Linux Foundation, which is created to drive innovation and growth in the mainframe ecosystem through open source. And its mission is to make mainframe technology more accessible, more modern, and sustainable by building a strong community of developers, students, and enterprises. So you can be, you can work at IBM or Broadcom or BMC or Rocket Software or whatever company you want. You have open source access to everything that the Open Mainframe project does. So regardless of, your role, your company, or, your experience, you have access to these resources for free and you don't have to pay anything. Um, and The Open Mainframe project supports dozens of open source projects such as Zoe, Geneva ERS, the COBOL programming course, and Philong. This helps bring modern tools, languages, and frameworks to the mainframe. In addition, this project fosters education and workforce development through programs like mentorships, scholarships, and the OMP Education Initiative. And this also helps us connect with industry leaders, academic institutions, and open source contributors. And the Open Mainframe project ensures that the platform remains vital and innovative for decades to come. And during the session at Share, one question came up where it's like, especially with academic institutions, with universities and colleges, um, a lot of them don't have mainframe curriculums. And when we're going and speaking at these different universities, they say, "Oh, wow, a professor would come up and say, "Oh, I love the mainframe. I wanna introduce my students to it, but my university doesn't support a curriculum either. I would have to build it from scratch." Well, these projects through the Open Mainframe project gives you that basis for a curriculum, right? We could basically take this to universities and say like, hey, you don't have to build a curriculum from scratch. We already have a blueprint one right here. All you have to do is just, you know, showcase it right to your students and let them get involved. So this kind of really does help academic institutions, the ones that say like, oh, well, the mainframe is a dying platform. We don't have the curriculum for it. Well, we're giving you a curriculum for it, and then also it's built by people in the community, and I think that that's really great. And so in that way, when we go and speak at universities, we can say like, hey, if you want to get started with learning the mainframe, just learning the basics, you can come to the Open Education Get book, right? This will help you get started in terms of what is a mainframe, the foundational technologies that make up the mainframe, career path opportunities. And then also, if you want to dive deeper technically, we can point you to other resources in the community, such as IBM Z Explorer, the Broadcom Vitality Program, the IBM Z Global Skills Accelerator Program, the Mainframe Skills Depot. We can help kind of be like that starting foundation for you to get started in the mainframe. So that's why these projects that the OMP supports is really important, because we're giving them, well, we're providing access to these resources for free, especially for students, and that way they can get started in the mainframe early on. So in that way, by the time they graduate from their university, they can be lined up with with an internship or a job role, right? I think that's something that's really important, and then also just trying to keep the mainframe innovative, keep it new, keep it modern. I think that that's something that I'm really glad the OMP does, and I wish I knew about the Open Mainframe project when I was first starting to learn out with mainframes. So this project is really vital to our community, and by presenting this at Share, it definitely did bring some more awareness to the efforts that we're doing here. And the first one is about the Mainframe Open Education Get book. For those of you that have joined the student user group webinars before, you may have heard Taylor and I talking about this before, right? The Mainframe Open Education Get book is accessible to anyone. And like I said before, you can learn about what is a mainframe today, what is enterprise computing, how important the mainframe is today in our world, right? Without it, the economy would come to a freezing halt, right? Like people won't be able to access their banking information, people won't be able to purchase anything. It would literally, just come to an end, right? And that's why the mainframe is so important. When I talk to people that don't know what a mainframe is, I use this analogy, right? When you bought your cup of coffee this morning, that transaction went through a mainframe, and like, wow, really? I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, that's why the mainframe is so important. And then also, the mainframe has to be constantly running um, uh, because one, you want to make sure that your transaction goes through securely, fast, and safely. But then again, if it didn't, you would just end up using the next card in your wallet. And especially something like a bank or a large financial institution, they can't risk that. So that's why the mainframe is just so important today. And the content in this Git book exposes new people to that. I think that that's sort of the analogy that we have to go to as a community in terms of, instead of saying like, hey, do you want to work on the mainframe? Use something that they can relate it to, and then bring them into the mainframe. So I think that that's something that's really important. But you learn about what is a mainframe today, foundational technology. Um, the roles in mainframes, there's lots of different roles from system programmers to database administrators to modernization architects to infrastructure managers. There's lots of different roles that you can go into mainframes, and then also each role has a different career path opportunity, right? That's something else that we talk about, and then also there's other backlog topics that we're currently building and working on. And one of the great things about the Git book is that you can help contribute today. If anyone wants to get started with creating content, feel free to reach out to Taylor and myself, and we love to help you get started. But the content that we're looking for is content that you have taken from like an InterSchool course, right? If you're taking an InterSchool course about learning DB2, right? And you wanted to create kind of like an introduction to DB2 for newbies, you can create that content on our Git book and post it. And then also, how can we develop content into our curriculum for university learners, right? I think that that's something that's really important. And then also, how can we develop high level content that's not too technical in the depth of it yet, but how can we create sort of like that subtle introduction into the concept and then point them to the places where they can go deeper into? I think that that's something that we really do need more help with, and we're definitely, open to hearing all of your content ideas that you have to bring, whether you're new in your career or very experienced, right? We definitely want to have you contribute to our efforts here. And then also, you get to showcase a badge on LinkedIn. So you get to, not only contribute, but then also share it with your network, right? And bring even more people to help contribute. And we're always looking for new topics. It doesn't just have to be like, programming languages. It could be anything, right? You could talk about AI on the mainframe today and how important that is. You could talk about Python on the mainframe, right? Whatever it is, we want to hear, how you can make the Git book more accessible. So before I move on, Taylor, did you have any comments on this, or do we have any questions in the chat so far?
There was, let me see here. There's no questions in the chat. I don't have any comments on this other than people should definitely check out the Git book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so but yeah, if anyone wants to help contribute to this effort, just feel free to reach out to Taylor and myself, and we love to help you get started. And also we're trying to find new ways to explore the Git book on webinars such as this, right? So this is a really great opportunity. And then also, if if you have like a mentor that's an SME, that's a subject matter expert that's been working in the mainframe for decades, have them come contribute as well, right? We definitely want to get all the help that we can in sharing knowledge and help building this Git book out. So that way when we go speak to new people about the mainframe, we can point them to this resource instead of just having like, hey, if you want to learn about this, go check out this site, or if you want to learn about this, go check out that site. We can have everything in one place to point them to. So that's the OMP Education Gift Book. The next thing is Zoe. So a few of you may have heard about Zoe before, but for those of you who haven't yet, Zoe is a new open source framework that provides solutions that allow development and operations teams to securely manage, control, script, and develop on the mainframe like any other cloud platform. And Zoe is the first open source project based on ZOS. So what Zoe allows you to do is that Zoe allows you to connect to an IBM Z system through like a modern interface like Visual Studio Code. A lot of new to Z people and young developers are using Visual Studio Code. They're not really using a 3270 environment or TSO ISPF. they're using VS Code, and Zoe allows you to connect to a mainframe through a modern interface that you are familiar with. And for those of you that have been that have completed the challenges through IBM's Explorer, you connect to that ZOS system through Zoe. So we're always looking for ways to improve Zoe, and then also new projects with Zoe. So if you definitely want to get more involved with that, reach out to us and we would love to help you. And we're always looking for, new ideas. There are resources out there, the openmainframeproject.org/project/Zoe. There's a Zoe community page and then also the GitHub page for Zoe. So we're always looking for, fresh ideas, new ideas to add to these projects. But Zoe is a really cool project that allows you to get access to a mainframe through a modern user interface and development environment. So Zoe is something that's really crucial to the mainframe platform. But that's Zoe. And then the last one is the COBOL programming course with Visual Studio Code. So once again, this allows you to leverage modern tooling like Visual Studio Code, like Zoe, to learn about COBOL, right? And with the COBOL programming course, this is just enough information to get you introduced to COBOL. But then again, if if you take it, you like it, you actually get to dive deeper into it, right? With COBOL. So the mission for this is to attract the next generation of learners to add COBOL to their tech toolkit. This provides an improved learning experience, like I said before, with modern tool interfaces. And there has been a lot of mentorship through the COBOL programming course with the Open Mainframe project. So you can see that there's been a list of different mentors that have contributed, that have added new chapters and new enhancements to Zoe and to the COBOL programming course. So um, this is a project that has been very beneficial in the community in terms of teaching new people about COBOL and how it interacts with the mainframe, and then also you get to earn a badge for this course as well. So if anyone out there is interested in learning more COBOL or just learning enough to be dangerous, I would say definitely check out the COBOL programming course with Visual Studio Code, and we can help get you connected to the right resources. But um, these are just the three that I covered in my share presentation, but there are lots and lots more of projects that the Open Mainframe project has and that they're working on, and we're always looking for, fresh new ideas, new people, and new people to help contribute, right? Just look at all the different mentors that have added pretty much a lot to this to the COBOL programming course, right? And I think that, the people listening to this call can definitely be of value here and help contribute too. So um I believe that is the end of my share presentation, but if anyone, has any questions or wants to learn more or even just reach out to us, just let us know and we'll be glad to help you. That's one of the things about the Open Mainframe project. We're all doing this for the better good of the mainframe community, right? So this is a great way to help, to get you involved and just make a name for yourself in the community. And I see that we do have a question, so let me see. Uh,
Uh,
yeah.
uh,
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, sure. Let's see. Sure, I can do a live demo. So the question is, can we see how to get started as a fresher, and could I give a live demo right now, which will help us? So let me see. Um, I can go through the Open Mainframe Education Gitbook. Really quickly to go through that, but let me pull that up here. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna share again. All right, so y'all should be able to see my screen. Um, this is the Mainframe Open Education Project Gitbook. So this is kind of like the starter page in terms of what is mainframe open education, how you can help contribute as a student, as a teacher, as a technical expert, or a technical retiree, and lots of different other avenues. And then um, this is how you can request editor access to sign in to be a contributor. And like I said before, you can also earn um, a badge as well for this. So earning a contributor badge. And then let's see. Oh, did it freeze? Let's see. I think it might have froze. Let me pull it back up here. Okay, here it is. Yep. Uh, all right, there we go. So yeah, so that's section on how on learning how to contribute to MOE and how to get started. This talks about what is enterprise computing, right? And then we dive into chapter one, which is what is a mainframe today. It has different videos, pictures, resources, that we can help point people to, and just sort of like introduces people to mainframe, right? I actually created this section right here on enterprise computing. So I created this one pager here about what is enterprise computing. It's everything you need to know in one page. So you can do something like this if you're more of like a visual learner. For me myself, I'm a visual learner, so I learn better with pictures, diagrams, and videos. For other people, they love to read. So this kind of gives you something for everyone, right? But I created this section around enterprise computing, and then there's a video here, right, to talk about it more, and then who uses the mainframe and why, the different architecture and components of an IBM Z system. That's really important, from hardware to software. And then also you could take a virtual tour of the mainframe, how it works, mainframe modernization, mainframe evolution. I'm definitely working on a section about talking about mainframe history, like we're going from the Sys 360 to now with the IBM Z17. It's just good to know about where the mainframe started and where it is today. And there's foundational technology in the mainframe. So this section gives you a brief introduction about ZOS, um, TSO, ISPF, unit system services, data sets, JCL, different programming languages for the mainframe, and lots of other things too. But you can see here that pretty much we provide like videos and articles and resources from other websites, right? I think that's the other thing too. So we provide like a brief overview of it, and then we can point you to another resource to help you learn more. Um, then also there's different roles within the mainframe. So you have system programmers, administrators, analysts, and operators. There's mainframe architects, IT managers, technical support specialists, product managers, and other areas like that. And then there's different career path roles, um, and then career path opportunities, right? So eventually we want to build this out to be kind of like a job board, right? In terms of what companies are hiring for mainframe jobs, when's the next career event, and it's sort of like next steps to help you get started on your journey for your career path. And I think we're adding in different mainframe events and conferences. So we just had Share 2 weeks ago. There's IBM Z Day in November. There's IBM Tech Exchange in October. There's GSC UK, I believe, coming up in November. But there are lots of different, events that the community does have. There's a Broadcom Technical Exchange coming up. When is that, Taylor, again? Do you know the dates for that?
I think it's like October 15th off the
Okay.
top of my head. But it's that you have to be an existing Broadcom customer to attend that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, but there are lots of different events and in conferences that that you can be informed about. And I do know that Share is free for students. So if you're looking to attend Share in Orlando in February, if you're a student, if you have a valid student ID and email address, you can attend Share for free. You just have to work out the logistics of getting there, travel and lodging and stuff like that. But the registration for the conference is free. So that is something for students to take advantage of. And then also we're building out different mainframer journeys so you can hear Anna McKee talk about what she's doing in the world of DB2 and then also digital certification and badges. So we definitely want to help build this out a little bit further. And then also, like I said, if there's anything that you would like to help contribute, let us know. We can help you get started. But it doesn't have to be linear, right? Like you don't have to create content just based on what we already have. We're looking for new stuff, right? We really want to build out the Git book to really kind of be like that one-stop shop for people getting introduced to mainframes and helping them get started on the journey. But basically, we don't have to reinvent the wheel here. We could just create like an introduction to what the concept is, and then point them to something else, whether it's a video or IBM Z Explorer or an InnoSkill course or a documentation site, whatever it may be, right? This just helps you get started. So if anyone has any questions further on this, just let us know. But that's pretty much the gist of the OMP Education Git book. So, um, uh, Joseph, I hope that that answers your question, and let us know if you want to get started and start contributing if you have content to share. All right. So, are there any other questions in the chat? Because I really do hope that this session was informative and it really is kind of dodging out of what we normally do here on PC Music Group. But this is good, right? It helps us inform you all as attendees and people in this community to help contribute to all the efforts that we're doing here. Okay, good, 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 good. Well, like I said, feel free to reach out to us and we can help you get started. I'll also post a link to the Mainframe Open Education Git book in the chat, so you can go there as well to gain access to the Git book. And we're looking forward to seeing your contributions, Joseph. All right, so there's a link for that. And if anyone has any questions on not just the OMP Education Git book, but the other resources that we've shared today, just feel free to reach out to us, either now or either on LinkedIn later. If you think about it later, just feel free to reach out to us, and I'm sure that we would love to, you know, put you with the right people to help you get started. So, um, I think that's all I got. Taylor, did you have anything you want to add?
Yeah. Just one more thing, or I know we covered it earlier on the call, but if there's any sort of educational material that any of you are interested in, let
Mhm.
us know. We'd love to hear what you guys want to learn more about and make sure that we have possibly future discussions and uh, sessions on that. So,
Yeah. Yeah, 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 because we're always looking for new ideas to share with the community, and then also you may help inspire people coming up behind you, right? And then also we would love to have you on the Senior User Group webinar talking about your contribution to whatever you decide to contribute to as part of the OMP. So we're always looking for ways to kind of showcase that and bring even more people on board and help inspire people. So, anything that you have, don't think that it's too small to contribute or too big. We definitely want to, review it and make sure that people are aware about it. So, anything that we can do to help get you to that point where you can contribute frequently, it's great. So just, let us know, and we're always looking for new ways to educate and inform new people coming to um, the mainframe platform. So. All right. So I don't see any more questions in the chat, so I think we're good for today. Thank you all for joining us today for this very informative session. Like I said before, feel free to reach out to us with any questions, and yeah, we'll be back next month with the next Studios webinar. So, Taylor, Taylor, did you have anything else to add?
No, thank you, everybody. Appreciate you listening in, and feel free to reach out.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye.